There are a lot of deepfakes out there. There's not a lot of disclosure. There's not a lot of labeling. So among the many AI bills that are on the desk are three specific election-related bills.
Do you want to sign some laws?
I just thought, why waste your time with a politician unless they're going to do something for you?
Two are signed, and three are signed.
And this is now official. That is now injunctive relief if you do any of those deepfake election misrepresentations. So that's how easy it is to govern in California.
That's how easy it is to govern in California. And spoiler alert for those of you who didn't watch last night's Sunday night Viva and Barnes Law extravaganza, which I'm sure you all did. What happened to that law? It has been enjoined itself by way of injunction on the basis of prima facie unconstitutionality and not the least restrictive means to obtain the desired ends, which is to apparently counter AI-generated election interference videos, which are clear parody to anybody with half a brain, Gavin Newsom not being one of them. That's how easy it is to govern. You know how else it is easy to govern? By the way, look at his hand gestures. This is the arrogant pomposity that comes with the people who think they have replaced God, that people being members of the government.
There are a lot of deepfakes out there. There's not a lot of disclosure. There's not a lot of labeling. So among the many AI bills that are on the desk are three specific election-related bills.
He just strikes me as Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Want to sign some laws?
You want to sign some laws? Hold on.
I just thought, why waste your time with a politician unless they're going to do something?
Yeah. Why waste your time with a politician unless they're going to do something, even if what they're doing is unconstitutional, illegal, and counterproductive? Don't just sit there, do something, is the motto of the government. That's how easy it is to govern, and that's how easy it is to get your ass spanked by the court system who declares what you just signed into law unconstitutional. How easy is it to govern? You might be asking yourselves. Let's check in on year 16 of Gavin Newsom's plan to end homelessness in California. I love these montages. This one came from the Wall Street Silver. Listen to this. It's beautiful.
What we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homeless in San Francisco.
How are you going to solve homelessness? What are you going to do?
First of all, the full clip of this is something straight out of RoboCop 1, when they're like selling that robot that will enforce the law, and then the robot goes crazy and kills the CEO of the company. Great movie, by the way. Like one of the classics of all time, super violent, back when movies could be violent in the 80s. Maybe it was the early 90s, I forget. I'll just let this thing play and I'm going to shut my big mouth. But this is Gavin Newsom. I think he lost his soul even back in 2008. Oh my goodness. 2008 is my adult life. Now you know I'm getting old when I got to go fill in my birth date on things, and I got to scroll down now to the 70s. All right, hold on. Just watch it. I'm going to shut my big mouth.
What we call a 10-year plan to end chronic homeless in San Francisco.
How are you going to solve homelessness? What are you going to do as a new mayor? And I say, well, what are you going to do?
Focus on a housing first model, direct access to housing.
Shelter, salt, sleep, housing with wraparound and support services, solve homelessness.
Homelessness absolutely can be solved.
Laid out a detailed homeless strategy. There's been no intentionality on homelessness in the state for decades. It's not been a focus.
I don't think we can solve homelessness. I know we can solve homelessness. We will reduce street homelessness quickly and humanely through emergency action. The highest investment the state's ever made is $1 billion on homelessness. We are poised to pass a budget in the next few hours that will provide $12 billion of investments. I can literally quantify 58,000 people that we got off the streets last year, and none of you would believe it.
This state has not made progress in the last 2 decades as it relates to homelessness. Why?
We're not interested in funding failure. We're not interested in failing more efficiently when it comes to the issue of homelessness and the crisis on the street.
No, you're interested in failing upwards, which is the theme of today's show, as you might have seen from the thumbnail header for the show. Everybody, before we get too far into the show, let me make sure that we are in fact live across all of the various platforms of the interwebs. Are we live on Rumble? We are. Let me just make sure that my audio's. Yeah, we're live on Rumble. Are we live on CommuTube? Let's just make sure. I think we would have gotten a notification if we weren't. Getting a commercial on YouTube. All right. We're live on YouTube. Are we live at vivabarneslaw.locals.com? Maintaining homelessness, says Rakashaw72. Oh, no, they've invested $1 billion into homelessness, and they've siphoned off their 50, 75%, given the contracts to their friends and buddies and contractors, et cetera, et cetera. Holy Moses. Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, East Coast. Good evening, Europe. Top of the morning to you, Australia. We're getting prepped for a hurricane here, so if I look even more distracted than normal, it's because I am. Riley Manoa over in our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community says, Viva tagged you in a post this morning about IV shortages due to Helene. The company that makes 60% of the fluid for the U.S. is in Asheville. Elective non-life-saving procedures are being canceled, just like they did during COVID. Outrageous. And then we got Finboy Slick. Reduce homelessness quickly and humanely. Almost sounds like they were planning to euthanize the homeless. Well, if Gavin is going to learn anything from Justin Trudeau up in Canada, it's that killing members of your society can actually alleviate the burden on the healthcare system. And it can actually also save you money. All right, people, before we get too far into the show, it's going to be a good one. We're going to go over Kamala Harris and DEI Karine Jean-Pierre failing her way upwards with a bunch of other stuff in between, and we'll talk a bit about the hurricane. But speaking of the hurricane, because the poo-poo can hit the fan real quick like. And, if it's not a hurricane, it can be a port strike and whatever. For the first time since 1977, 85,000 East Coast Port Union workers are on strike at 36 ports. They've since resolved this issue, but at least, until the new year. And you guessed it, Biden and Kamala have completely dismissed the issue as unimportant instead sending billions more to Ukraine. The International Longshoremen's Association and the Maritime Alliance failed to reach an agreement, and now everything has come to a halt. Shipments are frozen, supplies are stuck at sea, et cetera, et cetera. Although I think they have a temporary agreement until January. So they might have prevented the 80% increases in medication and shortages, et cetera, et cetera. While CVS and Walgreens carry minimal medication inventory in store, the wellness company invests in holding life-saving meds specifically for crises like this. If it's not a port strike, if it's not Hurricane Helene, it's going to be Hurricane Milton. They have to name it after an old Jewish guy, don't they? Milton, why did you do so much damage, Milton? Anyhow, the wellness company has 5 emergency kits that include an array of life-saving medications like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pak, amoxicillin, budesonide, and even a nebulizer, all backed by Dr. Peter McCullough and other trusted experts. In crises, you want to have the kits prepared so that you're not running to pharmacies, which might be closed or flooded out. Get your kit before supplies run out. Head to twc.health/Viva. Promo code Viva saves you $30 off and free shipping. Protect your family before it's too late. TWC Tango Whiskey Charlie.health/Viva. Promo code Viva, 15% off. $30 off and free shipping. Oh, that's one. Let me see something here. Hold on. I brought up the screen, right? Because we got to see the wellness company here. Yes, I did. There it is. And what did I just close? The second sponsor of today's show, people. And it's one that we are very familiar with. And when the stores close down and you need to get your fruits and veggies, Field of Greens, people. A medical test can reveal your body's biological age, which can show if you are aging prematurely. Better nutrition has been shown to reverse one's biological age. My hope of living longer and healthier is why I eat fresh fruits and greens and a spoonful twice a day of Field of Greens. It's an organic superfood, vegetable drink. Unlike anything else, serious nutrition. If you go to your doctor and your doctor doesn't notice that you're looking better and getting better results on your next visit, you got a money-back guarantee. It's designed for fruits to help each and every one of your vital organs, heart, liver, kidneys, metabolism, and immune system. Only Field of Greens is backed by the Better Health Promise. At your next checkup, if you're not getting better and your doctor doesn't notice it, get your money back. Fieldofgreens.com. You go to fieldofgreens.com. It brings you to Brickhouse Nutrition. Promo code VIVA will get you 15% off and free shipping. Oh, yes. And hold on a second. There's a QR, fancy code technology here. Check this out. If I show the, hold on, minimize. Now, if I go here and I go here, hold on. I got to bring up the QR code in the back screen. There you go. Now, check this out. If you go and scan the QR code, people, let me see if this thing works. Oh, it works, and it brings you over to the website. Look at that. Brickhouse. It brings you to Brickhouse Nutrition. That's the QR code. Scan it, get it, filter out bad habits with healthy habits. Twice a day, 1 serving of fruits and vegetables. Twice a day, it'll do you good. Okay, people. Let's start with what is on everybody's mind, at least everybody who is in Florida right now. Hurricane Milton, named after the late, great Milton Berle. I don't even know who Milton Berle was. I just know the name from The Simpsons, which we're going to be touching on today as well. Hurricane Milton is coming through. It's like originating in the Gulf Coast, which people are hypothesizing is abnormal. And they are not promoting conspiracy theories, which at this point in time, there really is nothing that is unbelievable. Knowing what we know and knowing what technology the government has researched into, developed, whatever. It's one of the rarer or certainly less frequent hurricanes that originates in the Gulf and then goes west to east. It goes eastward. And it's looking like it's going to be kind of serious. Here, Benny Johnson has announced that he is in the zone where they're announcing evacuations. And Benny, we are all obviously hoping the best for everybody and hoping that this would, it's the same thoughts that go through every time hurricanes come, and you want everyone to be survive and sustain minimal damage. So fingers crossed, everybody. Benny Johnson tweets out this morning, "Hey guys, I live and work in Tampa. Public officials have advised me to evacuate my family ahead of the hurricane. With 3 little kids and a pregnant wife, it's just not worth the risk. My team and I will be broadcasting this week from a safe location on our way now." And this is what it looks like. So by what is it, Wednesday, 8 o'clock or something, it's going to make landfall. And we are, can you see the cursor here? Let me see something here. Yeah, you can see the cursor. Okay, we're sort of like, right, we're north of Miami. So I guess maybe we're like right here. So we'll see how it goes. The amazing thing is you go into the stores and certain shelves are empty. The missus got some toilet paper, and then I heard her cussing from the bathroom because she got scented toilet paper. If anybody wanted the TMI, my wife has a pet. My wife, she has a pet peeve for scented toilet paper, and I'm like, scented toilet paper? Who on earth would want scented toilet paper? What is it going to? Is the idea that it's going to cover up the odor of what's going on at the time, or that it's going to make your butthole like smell better for the future? Anyhow. No returns, no refunds, no exchanges. So that's it. The hurricane is expected to hit towards tomorrow, the day after, and we'll see where it goes. We're hanging tight. We got water, gas, cars are filled. I've charged all of the GoPros. I've charged the drone, the essential stuff. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated. If the power goes out, we might not be able to have some streams. Okay, fine. Today's episode, people, is about failing upwards. I went ahead and listened to that. It's called Call Her Daddy and not Call Me Daddy. So one of my jokes doesn't make any sense anymore because I thought the podcast on which Kamala Harris graced us with her presence was called Call Me Daddy. That was wrong. It's called Call Her Daddy, which literally makes no sense unless you're into some kinky stuff, unless she identifies as a daddy. I don't know who Alex Cooper is. I've seen all of the insults and names leveled against her. By and large, it pertains to sexual promiscuity, but it doesn't matter. I went ahead and listened to that god-awful podcast. I did it so that you don't have to. And it was, I won't say 44 minutes of the most mind-rotting drivel imaginable, because there was a 4-minute intro and like a bit of an outro. So it was about 40 minutes, maybe 38 minutes of the most mind-numbing drivel you can possibly imagine. And it's so bad because you're dealing with low information podcasters or liars. And I'll just go ahead and presume that Alex is ignorant and not a liar. Low information podcasters interviewing low information or lying politicians for low information voters. And what you have right there is the holy trifecta of low information vortex of misinformation, disinformation, recycling. There's nothing in there. It's just the same platitudes. Yeah, I'm going to increase $25,000 small business loan because $5,000 isn't enough to start a business, because some people actually started by saving their own money. Doesn't matter. It's all about spending and buying the vote. But there was one part in particular that, to quote Adam Sandler from They're All Gonna Laugh at You, blew my freaking mind. They are spouting the same lies about that poor woman out of Georgia who died, which they are now claiming was the result of a restrictive abortion, Georgia abortion laws, which even Tim Walz had his ass handed to him on a fake news propaganda network where the story they're saying that the woman, because of Georgia, I think it's Georgia, I hope it's Georgia, in terms of not getting the information wrong, the woman died because of Georgia's restrictive abortion laws. She went to get health care, baby care, which is abortion, and died. The reality is that she took an abortion medication, which I was told were totally safe and effective, and you can order them willy-nilly online with no repercussions. She took it, started hemorrhaging, and then as a result of hospital medical malpractice, she died. Tim Walz got called out on that. And they go and they repeat that same filthy, pathological lie on the show. But then on the subject of abortion, and they talk about how Donald Trump is a liar. Here, I made the montage. We'll play through this because I things are in my head and I got to go find the clips and then splice them in to highlight the low information podcaster getting an answer from a liar of a politician.
In the debate, former President Trump claimed that some states are executing babies after birth. Can you just clarify?
That is not happening anywhere in the United States. It is not happening, and it's a lie.
When we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother.
I love the fact that the former Virginia governor has to talk that it's done with the consent of the mother. That would lead me to believe at times it's not done with the consent of the mother, but set that aside. When we're talking about third trimester abortions, when they occur because they occur, he's not making a hypothetical out of his mind here, but according to Kamala Harris, it's a lie because Kamala Harris is a liar.
The consent.
And Alex Cooper is an idiot who doesn't know the reality. And she's just gone and misinformed. Apparently she got a massive following, which good for her, but
of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way, and it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable.
Just it's a bold-faced lie that he is suggesting that. Can you imagine?
Stop. What do people do when you're in the practice of law? There's an old expression: if she or he is crying, he or she is lying. Can you? I find that offensive. They're going to go to my feelings are hurt, so don't push the issue anymore. And Kamala Harris, the pathological low IQ DEI liar of a politician, she's a DEI liar of a hire. Bada bing, bada boom. What's she going to do?
Can you imagine? He's suggesting that women in their 9th month of pregnancy are electing to have an abortion. Are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
That is so outrageously inaccurate, and it's so insulting.
Oh, it's insulting
to suggest
that it's happening,
that would be happening, and that women would be doing that.
Back to Northam.
So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable.
Look at the woman in the back, by the way.
The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion.
Nope, it wasn't. Listen to this.
It's not happening anywhere.
It's not happening anywhere.
This guy is full of lies. I mean, I just have to be very candid with you.
How late in the third trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
By the way, who would do it up until the 9th month if they're alleging mental health issues. And this is Virginia Delegate Tran, or Virginia Delegate Kathy Tran. Look at her face.
Physical health.
Okay. I'm talking about the mental health.
So, I mean, through the third trimester. The third trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Thanks. Okay.
So
third trimester goes
to
up,
the end of the third trimester.
Goes up to
I don't
delivery.
think we have a limit in the bill.
I don't think we have a limit in the bill. Look at her face. Look at her hands. Look at her hands right now. Holy shit, I'm in trouble. Oh my goodness. Ma'am, are you tapping your fingers?
Where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth. She has physical signs of that she is about to give a birth.
She's dilating.
Would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified?
Jeez,
she's dilating.
Now that you say it like that, it kind of sounds like murder.
Mr. Chairman, that would be a decision that the doctor, the physician, and the woman
I
would make
understand
at
that. I'm asking if your bill allows that.
Yes.
My bill would allow that. Yes.
All right. No, but it's not happening. It's a lie. And I'm sure that Alex Cooper knew that to push back on Kamala Harris when she said it's just not happening, but it's a good thing that it is because it's a woman's choice and it's her body, except for the fact that it's not. That's the whole issue at play here as to whether or not it is only the woman's body when you're at a stage of viability and whatever. All right. It's sickening, Rob A says. But it's absolutely, and you could see it in Virginia Tran's eyes. She's like, well, you say it like that, and I have to admit that it's true. And I have Governor Northam over here saying that it's happening often enough that he knows exactly how it would play out. And then you got Kamala Harris coming up on Alex Cooper's Call Me Daddy, call her daddy, who they call somebody daddy because it's a sex show, saying it's not happening. Well, awesome. There were a couple of other wonderful highlights from that, but we don't need to listen to them. I mean, when you get a soundbite of Kamala Harris saying, what's the name of Call Me Daddy gang? There's a name for their gang, like what's his face? What's his name? No, we just watched this one. Tom McDonald's has got the Hangover gang. Salty Army's got the Salty Cracker's got the Salty Army, and Dan Bongino's got the Bongino Army. What's the name of her gang? It's something like the Daddy Gang or something. When you got a vice president and a presidential candidate saying things like, "I want to talk to the Daddy Gang," you're losing, and you're an idiot while you do it. But if anybody had any doubts, do I have any more of the sound bites from that? You don't need to go listen to it because it's just about 45 minutes of propaganda. But you got some dude on Twitter singing Kamala's praises because she's going on the show. You're going on real hard-hitting journalism, people. They're saying, oh, Kamala Harris doesn't sit down to do any long-format interviews. And then the media is saying, well, look at her schedule this week. She does long-format interviews all the time. And then you got the first question coming out of this interview with Alex Cooper.
You don't do too many long-form interviews.
Yeah, I wonder why.
What made you want to do Call Her Daddy today?
Well, I can tell you what made me want to do Call Her Daddy today. I'm losing. I'm copying everything Donald Trump does in the campaign. And one of the things he's been doing quite effectively, he and J.D. Vance, is long format interviews. So I figure I better start doing that. And by long format, it's going to be 40 minutes of bullshit questions coming from an airhead of a podcaster who doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. She sure showed them. Who was the guy? There was a guy on Twitter. I have it in the back here. He was like, yeah, oh God, yeah. So much for her not doing any media appearances. Look at this. Randall Barnes. I don't know who the person is. I'm not making fun of them. Am I? Hold on. I'm not. I have no good reason to know if I should make fun of this individual. It might be a legit, sincere, good faith guy. Hold on. 5,126 following and 5,152 followers. So he's engaging in a follow for follow scheme. All right, forget it. I'm not going to make fun of him, whatever, because him is not the point here. The point is her schedule. Kamala Harris has and will interview with Howard Stern, Ricky Smiley. I don't know who Ricky Smiley is. Call Her Daddy, we just saw. Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, All of the Smoke. That sounds like a good one. Oprah, 60 Minutes, The View, Stephen Colbert, Dana Bash, MSNBC, Univision. Here, let's start with this. We'll start with the number one. A filthy, disgusting, washed-up pervert who's not funny and hasn't been funny for at least 5 years, who has no respect for constitutional rights, Howard Stern. Ricky Smile, I don't know. Call Her Daddy, you can fill in the blank there. Matt Barnes, I don't know them. Oprah, a woman who is friends with more pedophiles than most people want to be friends with. 60 Minutes, absolute bullshit propaganda. The View, mindless drivel propaganda. Stephen Colbert, a disgusting, mindless, oh my goodness, propagandist that would make Joseph Goebbels green with envy, who sang the, oh my goodness, Tequila. The song was Vaccine. Dun, 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 dun. Vaccine. Disgusting man. Dana Bash, propaganda. Stephanie Rule, MSNBC, propaganda. Univision, politicized propaganda. Oh, so that's her hard-hitting schedule of long-format interviews, and we saw how that went with Call Her Daddy. Oh, and by the way, in case anybody has lost track of the disgusting, awful, washed-up disgrace of a former self, Joe Biden. This was when he interviewed Howard Stern, when he interviewed Joe Biden just a few months ago. I think it was like 3 months ago. It was shortly before Joe backed out of the race. And you got, it was one hell of a hard-hitting interview. So I have no doubt, if Howard Stern doesn't resort to his disgusting, misogynist, sex-based comedy with Kamala Harris, like he'll ask her how many people she slept with. Ask her what her favorite sexual position is. Ask her to see her naked. Ask her to show her boobs. That's what Howard Stern does. But if he doesn't do that, I'm sure it's going to be just as hard-hitting as this interview that he did with Joe Biden.
And you're the kind of leader I love, because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office and serving as the father of the country. Because if you're a good father to your family, which you are, I know you'd be a good father to the country, and I
I
want.
mean, even Joe Biden is sitting like, holy shit, did he just call me a good father? Like, I know that I'm a lot of things. Maybe a good father ain't one of them, because I know, or maybe he's just envisioning showering with his daughter, or I don't know what got Hunter hooked on crack. But more often than not, there are what psychologists or therapists would look at as not an enabling factor, but rather a contributing factor. You're a good father, and Joe Biden is either thinking of showering with his daughter or has no idea where the hell he is.
I want to thank you for providing a calming influence. I can't fathom a guy walks into the voting booth, especially a military member or somebody, and would vote for someone who says military guys who die are losers and suckers.
No, that sounds like a propaganda lie that you're repeating, Joe Biden, much like the propaganda lies that Call Me Daddy was talking about.
In other words, I'm not disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in my fellow Americans. And maybe you can't say that because, the thing I do like about you is I love this about you. You're able to embrace people who didn't vote for you.
Nope.
And you're the kind of leader I
he
love
embraces them.
because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office.
He embraces them.
Serving as the father of the country, because if you're a good father to you.
He embraces them. You know what he embraces them with? Handcuffs while he locks them up in jail. So, yeah, that's what's on Kamala's schedule for this week. It's going to be a hard-hitting, hard questions interview. But by the way, talking about the 60 Minutes one, she can't even answer a question when it is friendly media asking her the question. There's almost too many highlights to keep up with here, but this is Kamala on 60 Minutes. Now, this is CBS. No, this is 60 Minutes. Okay, I'm getting sorry. The overlap of the propaganda is the same. I do not like 60 Minutes. It is rubbish propaganda. And when you go on rubbish propaganda and you still get your ass handed to you like Kamala Harris does right here, a bumbling idiot is what she is. From friendly media, holy hell, it's bad.
My plan is about saying that when you invest in small businesses, you invest in the middle class, and you strengthen America's economy. Small businesses are part of the backbone of America's economy.
But pardon me, Madam Vice President, the question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes.
What's the fair share?
It is not right that teachers and nurses and firefighters are paying a higher tax rate than billionaires and the biggest corporations. I plan on making that fair.
But we're dealing with the real world here.
But the real world includes...
How are you going to get this through Congress?
When you talk quietly with a lot of folks in Congress, they know...
Okay, do you know what she was thinking right about here? What about here? Wait, right here. How are you going to get through Congress?
Here.
But we're dealing with the real world here.
But the real world includes...
How are you going to get this through Congress?
Pause. I hope you renewed your life insurance, good sir. What the... We had a deal. At what the hell did you just ask me? How am I going to get it done when I haven't been able to get it done for the 3.5 years that I've been integral in passing laws with Joe Biden's regime? What the hell did you just ask me? You better top up on that insurance policy, good sir.
When you talk quietly with a lot of folks in Congress, they know exactly what I'm talking about because their constituents know exactly what I'm talking about.
And
their constituents are those firefighters and teachers and nurses.
By the way, do you see, I am not a body language expert, but I do think I'm pretty darn good. The nostril and the snarl right here. You see it actually as in the last frame, but it's right. There's a snarl and a flare in the nostrils. And that is anger that is difficult to hide. Look at this. Right. Why is it freezing? Right. It's like an animal showing its teeth. She can't even handle a friendly interview from 60 Minutes without sounding like a bumbling idiot because that's what she is. Fair share until you're Venezuela. And then everybody's got the fair share. The fair share is zero because everyone is killing rabbits and killing squirrels to survive. Oh, okay. We'll get back there in a second. Let's get to some of the reduce homelessness quickly and humanely. Almost sounds like euthanasia. That was Finboy Slick. Okay, I got that one. Finboy, what else you got here? We were discussing how the hurricane will affect you, Viva, and since wind drag is proportional to surface area, the best thing for you to do is shave the sides of your head. Nothing will do. Dude, you might see me in the street with the American flag and the wind blowing down, but I will not be bathing in the water that comes up, because everybody knows that has a lot of poo-poo and pee-pee in it. Crazy ER nurse in the house donated. Thank you very much, crazy ER nurse. And then we got Viva from Sammy. Semantics. They can easily say no one is, quote, executing, any quote, end quote, a baby anywhere after birth. The question would be, is it a viable baby born and left to die? Yes, they are. Well, I mean, that's the bottom line is the practice is there. And the more they highlight what's there by denying that it's there, the more people learn that it's there. Much like we are now learning that FEMA has been squandering hundreds of millions of dollars funding illegal alien activities, and now is out of money. Which brings us to that segment of the show. Viva does the time travel game by surfing the internet and just pulling up some fun stuff to evidence everything that's not happening, but it's good that it is. It's the celebration parallax, people. When was it? This is from end of COVID, when they repealed whatever that title was that prevented illegal aliens from crossing the border due to the spread of COVID. And then they repealed it. And then under the Biden administration, and they say, why is the migrant crisis so much worse? It's all Trump's fault, even though we did things to actively exacerbate it. But where'd they get the funds to deal with it? Here you go.
Less than 24 hours away from the end of Title 42. And this was a COVID-era policy blocking asylum seekers from coming into the country to prevent the spread of COVID.
Who undid that?
Well, the U.S. is bracing for a surge of migrant crossings at the southern border as it comes to an end. And many of those coming into the states could eventually make their way to Georgia. All new tonight, we're learning that the city of Atlanta is getting federal money to prepare for this. FEMA sending more than $6.8 million to the city. It's supposed to be used for providing food, shelter, and services to people who enter the U.S. through the southern border. And it will help support them as they await immigration court proceedings. Officials say at the border, 11,000 people crossed yesterday. Many more people are expected tomorrow. Less than 24 hours away.
Hold on a second. Actually, hold on. Let me just make sure that I don't make a mistake. I just want to do this here.
And this was hours away from the end of Title 42. And this was a COVID-era policy blocking asylum seekers from coming into the country.
Repealed? The Biden administration lifted the order Title 42 on May 11, 2023, when the federal government ended the official national emergency. But it's Trump's fault. The border crisis is Trump's fault. They end Trump-era policies, which whether or not you agreed with him, doesn't matter. They end it, and then they need FEMA money in order to deal with the federal emergency that was created by their repealing a policy that was intending to block people from crossing the border willy-nilly, because now there's no such thing as illegal immigrants because everyone's an asylum seeker, because the word now has about as much meaning as racist, bigot, white nationalist, whatever else words have been diluted to mean nothing. So everyone is an asylum seeker, even if they're not. Therefore, it's not illegal immigrants anymore. It's asylum seekers, and there's whatever. Then you get FEMA. And then they come out and say, no, FEMA funds have not been diverted. They haven't been spent from the disaster relief fund. They've just been spent from another shell of the FEMA Department of Homeland Security organization. But hold on. Let me just get another one here. Is it this one? No. It was, come on. I had it. It said another classic is what it said. Here we go. Another prime example. This one was from a little bit later. This was temporally later than the last one we just saw.
As buses carrying migrants continue to arrive in Colorado, resources are running out.
It's not 5,000 people who've come in and one city could support it. It is now 36,000 people, and the numbers aren't stopping.
Almost like either an invasion or a replacement, depending on which way you want to see it. It's not 38,000 into small towns. It's a cool 20,000 Haitian immigrants, Haitian illegals, but they're not illegal because they got temporary protective status because Kamala Harris waved her magic wand and applied a law or an app that was never supposed to be applied that way to legalize what would have otherwise been absolutely egregiously illegal, because it's not illegal when the government does it.
As of Monday, the city of Denver says they've helped more than 37,000 migrants at a cost of more than $38 million.
In about July and August, we saw just numbers that we were shocked by, of hundreds of people lined up from morning to evening for either the food pantry or for our wraparound services and vaccine.
They've created a federal emergency.
Letty, how are you?
And now
the
they're going to
need
use
stretching beyond
funds.
Denver, reaching Amanda Blarock with the Village Exchange Center, a nonprofit in Aurora dedicated to helping immigrants and refugees.
There's a whole migrant response network here of nonprofits who are at the front line and serving this community of asylum seekers. However, they don't have
running out of
funding
money?
to do so.
Amanda and several local and state leaders now calling on the federal government, asking FEMA to increase funding allocated to their shelter and services program while expanding the eligibility criteria to include other cities and nonprofits not included in last year's funding.
And there are human beings here.
Oh, I wanted to play that out because it said there's human beings here that need food, shelter, etc. I wanted to highlight that contrast to the human beings up in North Carolina who are literally dying now as a result of federal incompetence, federal mismanagement of funds, and then the lies that ensue. No, FEMA's not diverting funds for illegal immigrants, etc., because they're legal. Therefore, haha, suckers, say it properly next time, and we might be inclined to agree with you after you bastardize the English language. And then you get Karine Jean-Pierre, the pathological professional liar, up on stage, lying to you. Just straight up lying to you. And for the low information voters out there who get their news from Call Her Daddy, or who get their news from from Howard Stern, who sits there massaging Joe Biden's back, you don't know any better. You're living your life. You're working hard, trying to prepare for hurricanes. You don't have time to keep up with the lies that these people tell you, and nor do you even have, the capacity to believe that people would lie so egregiously and so preposterously to your face. And they do. And then you see it black on white, pun intended, because you got a black and white one compared to the color one here. And then you still can't believe it. You say, how can any person with the slightest bit of human dignity and human decency lie to our faces with such audacity? And her name is Karine Jean-Pierre.
It's just categorically false. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants. So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants. It's just categorically false. No, Biden did not take...
Categorically false. Karine Jean-Pierre is... I won't say she's the worst press secretary ever, because it's actually astonishing how shameless she is at what she does. I mean, you couldn't pay most people enough money to do what Karine does, which is to get up there, debase yourself in front of the entire nation, lie, sell your soul, and do it every day, day in and day out. I mean, you couldn't pay most people to do that. And she does it so well, so shamelessly, so maliciously, dishonestly, that she deserves a raise. What's that? Hold on 1 second. She got a raise. I saw this on Twitter. And I'm like, no, that can't be right. Oh, no. It's right. October 7, 9 a.m. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre promoted to senior advisor. Exclusive. She will maintain her press duties. Duties through the end of the administration. She's going to become promoted to senior advisor. Hold on 1 second. Google federal president senior advisor salary. The estimated total pay for senior advisor to the president of the United States is $276,000 per year. But hold on, let me just show you this. I'm not shaming anybody for making a lot of money. You work hard. You deserve to make a lot of money, and you deserve to make the money you make so long as you're doing it honestly, without stealing from people, without hurting people in the process. $276,000 with a mean median base pay of $134 to $239 per year. The estimated additional pay, $97,000, which would include cash bonus, commissions, tip. Is this right? Senior advisor to the president of the United States. Cash bonus? Commission? Tips? Okay, I don't know what the senior advisor is supposed to be doing. Bottom line, let's just let me just see something here. The press secretary already makes a lot, but press secretary salary, I think it's only like 130. 180,000, Karine Jean-Pierre. So she's going to go from 130 salary. And why can I not find her salary? I thought it was give or take about 100 and 180, 170. Well, she's going to take a bit of a pay grade because she's so good at what she does. They need to make sure that she's going to advise the president. White House press secretary, Karine Jean, she's been promoted to senior advisor to the president, ABC News has learned. Karine has been a trusted advisor to the president and all of us here at the White House since day one. Her counsel will be critical to get as much done as possible for the American people in the coming months, said Jeff Zients, chief of staff. Jean-Pierre made history when she was tapped to become the press secretary, becoming the first black woman, openly gay person to take. Who gives a sweet bugger all what you do with your junk down? No, I don't care, Karine. Couldn't care less in the best of ways. You want to bump uglies with another woman? Go ahead and do it. More power to you. I don't give a crap. It's not a qualification. And for you to tout it as one is an insult to everybody who ever had to earn their job in life. Jill and I have known and respected Karine a long time, and she'll be a strong voice speaking for me in this administration. But she's only going to get, like, at most, what are we, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. No, that's my problem. October to November, December, January. Maybe 3 more months? Unless they're, like, kind of trying to cram her in for... By the way, I'm still sticking with my prediction that Biden is going to resign before the end of his term and really, really stick it to Kamala Harris. Yada, yada. Okay, they said... Okay, whatever. This is going back. Jean-Pierre will now be alongside the ranks of President top confidants like senior advisor Mike Donilon, Stephen Ricchetti, and Bruce Reed. White House official said that her promotion shows the faith that Biden has in her, as well as her commitment to having diverse and intergenerational voices guiding him in his decision. Can you believe this is actual journalism and not like a 12-year-old kid from Clueless's essay for the teacher? Jean-Pierre will begin her new role effective immediately. She will also maintain her press secretary duties through the end of Biden's administration, the first press secretary in decades to also hold the title of senior advisor. The move also shows the increased influence of the communications and press operations in the White House. When former senior advisor Anita Dunn left her role, communications director John Ben LeBolt was promoted to senior. Okay, whatever. Anyway, she that's it. She failed her way upwards, people, because that's what happens in a Biden regime. That's what happens in a DEI regime. The more you screw up, the more you lie, the more loyalty with which you lie, the more you shall be promoted through all walks of life. Let me go down here, see what's going on. And what do we got here? She's trying to help the firefighters. They aren't helping her. I don't know what that means. And then we got Sammy. I think I got that one as well. Okay, fine. We got that one. All right, but we're not yet done, I don't think, on the subject of what the hell's going on with Hurricane Helene. Are we? I think we are done with Hurricane Helene. We're gonna get into the other gentleman of the hour. Sorry, guys, I'm a child and I've got a childish humor. This is another awesome clip from Call Her Daddy, where Kamala Harris talks about the advice that her mom gave her that she followed, and she quotes.
The other thing my mother would say all the time, and I'm going to quote, is don't do anything half-assed.
But I'm using my whole ass.
The other thing my mother would say all the time, and I'm going to quote, is don't do anything half-assed.
But I'm using my whole ass.
Don't do anything. What words and pearls of wisdom your mother gave you. Don't do anything half-assed, and my goodness, we all know that Kamala most certainly used her whole ass. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. What was this soundbite? Oh, yeah, we'll play this one just for fun here as we segue into Doug Emhoff, the news that developed last week that I seem to have glossed over.
Almost 1 in 4 Gen Z and millennials say they don't want to have kids because it's too damn expensive.
Am I noticing this? I think I've noticed it, what they call the fish mouth. Like there's a look to the Jack Smiths and that judge out of Colorado. There's a look to like some of these lefty commies, and I think I'm noticing it right here. But listen to this gem. It costs too much money to have kids, and it's your fault. But it's not your fault because you had no role to play. It was just Biden's administration, except you were integral part in that here.
Almost 1 in 4 Gen Z and millennials say they don't want to have kids because it's too damn expensive. How are you going to help young people not feel left behind?
First of all, it's a very real issue and we need to take it seriously.
That's awesome.
I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet.
And I do take it very seriously. So there are a number of issues that contribute to that feeling.
Yeah.
One is housing is too expensive.
She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done.
3.5 years.
And we need to increase the housing supply.
And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
So part of my plan is to work with home builders in the private sector to build, by the end of my first term, 3 million more housing units.
She was a major player in everything we've done.
Second piece is $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers.
We're singing from the same song sheet.
Because a big issue in terms of the barrier to being a homeowner is just having enough to actually put that down payment down, right? To get your foot in the door.
She was a major player in everything we've
Catchphrase,
done.
foot in the door.
We need to
Opportunity
give
economy.
tax credits and really understand that middle class and working people need a break.
She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now.
Catchphrases after catchphrases, and the smooth-brained sycophants are more than happy to oblige and repeat them. Check this out, by the way. This is amazing. So put on pause here. You see this clip, and we live in a world of parody now where you don't know if the person is posting it to be critical or to be a smooth-brained sycophant supporter. Actress and businesswoman, we're going to make your bets there. Place your bets in the chat as to whether or not this was posted in order to mock Jessica Alba for just saying the line, or to promote Jessica Alba and promote Kamala Harris. Your guess is as good as mine.
Than any means so much to me, because I want my kids to live in a country that reflects our values. I grew up in a working class family. My parents lived paycheck to paycheck, several jobs each, and it's not that fun just to get by. And Kamala Harris promises an opportunity economy where we're not just going to get by anymore.
We're going to thrive.
All of us deserve a chance.
Can you believe that this would work on anybody? She's been in power for 3.5 years, an integral part of Joe Biden's administration. He's singing her praises last week, but I think he's throwing her under the bus, passing the laws, all of this stuff. And she gets up and says all of these problems that she's going to solve on day one. And she's got Jessica Alba, God bless her soul, out there repeating the nonsense. She's promising us an opportunity economy that she hasn't been able to deliver for the last 3.5 years because she hasn't been in power, and she was only VP, except she's an integral part passing all of the laws that Joe Biden says that he's taking credit for. So here's the question. 1, this was intended to mock Alba and Kamala, or 2, this was intended to be flattery. Say the line, Bart. Now, hold on. Let me refresh. Let me just see. So here's the question. We're going to get the answer based only on this guy's... he works for MSNBC. Here, I can bring it up like this. NPR, MSNBC, NNN natives support public radio. So you can bet that this guy was promoting this thinking that, hey, we got one young, attractive, wild celebrity repeating the line, opportunity economy, on day one, Kamala Harris is going to deliver.
And it's not that fun just to get by.
We need to thrive.
And Kamala Harris promises
an opportunity economy. She
economy
promises it.
Where we're not just going to get by anymore.
We're going to
thrive.
Ugh. Idiots. Idiots who are so detached from reality, they have no idea how difficult things are. And they just rely on, well, they haven't lived through the last 3.5 years like the rest of us. And she promises going forward, opportunity economy, whatever the hell that means. How are you going to pay for it? We're going to tax people. Well, you know, the real world, they're just going to leave. Yeah, but, hey. What was the other one? That's it. This is an amazing one. We're also, going back to the theme of it's impossible to determine if it's parody or reality. I won't play the whole thing, but this is like the Principal Skinner. Like, am I out of touch? No, it's the kids. Like, I can't tell if this is a skit where the person is saying, I can't understand this facetiously, tongue-in-cheek. Listen to this for a bit.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to see a dangerous increase in Black Trump supporters. And I thought these were outliers, but the way every time I turn around and there's another black influenceable black person who is in support of Donald Trump, it's like I'm surrounded. It's like I'm like, what is going on? Now, I think what happened was that I was into that Fonnie Willis stuff. That's Fonnie Willis stuff that was going on. And I wanted to see how that played out. Now, there is a black content creator who was explaining all of that, but I didn't want to wait for her name is I'm Not a Lawyer. I didn't want to wait for her every day because she was covering other stuff, the YSL trial and all that. So I would look up lives while I was at work, and a lot of these people, and I wanted to support black creators. So I would look for black people who are covering this, and so many of them are Trump supporters. There are black Trump supporters everywhere.
So I can't tell if this is like deadpan comedy, like a shtick. Like, I'm watching all these young black content creators who are keeping up to speed with the news and informed on what's going on, and they all seem to be Trump supporters. Like, if it's a deadpan comedy shtick, it's hilarious. If it's sincere ignorance, it's hilarious. I keep looking at all these people who know better, and they all are supporting Trump, and I feel like I'm surrounded by crazy people. All right. Well, oh, come on. Look what now. The white trash panda. You've gone ahead and ruined the mood. Surprised you're not evacuating. Apologize if you already addressed this. I'm late to the stream. We're not evacuating. I don't believe we're in the path that requires evacuation. And then the obvious, we're inland enough, and hopefully, but who can follow these trajectories? Where do you evacuate to? Like, where are you going to evacuate? You're going to drive. I mean, where are you going to evacuate to? But anyhow, we got the SUV. If the poo-poo hits the fan, we'll drive through puddles and snatch up the two dogs and go down to the Florida Keys, assuming they're okay. And I was joking, white trash panda, about having ruined the mood, but no, now you got me nervous again. All right, well, after this, we're gonna go get some life jackets. Life jackets. Well, I think we need a few things. We're maybe going to see about a gas stove for camping, so that we can cook indoors. If the power goes out and we have to start like cooking all that beautiful, beautiful meat that we have in the freezer from Easy Meats on Glades. Once again, that's Easy Meats on Glades, best Brazilian meat shop on earth. All right, let me see what's going on in Viva Barnes Law before we get into the new one here. It's a Cat 5 now, says Switz guy. Let me see here. Just going to read some of the chat here. Black women support Kamala, says Grumpy Old Man 1919. Scrolling through the chat. Okay. Gas stoves are awesome, says Maria 36. No, the gas camping stoves, like I had one called the Dragonfly. You spread it apart, pop in a little clean gas, and you pump it up, and then it sprays it. It's fantastic. We'll be good. All right, what was I going to do now? I was going to go over to Rumble for a second and see what's going on. Don't use propane indoors. Not propane. It's clean gas. Sorry, I should be clear because I know what I'm thinking in my head, but not everybody does. I used to do a lot of camping, and the MSR bottles, you fill them up with clean white gas or white gas, and then you pump it and it sprays out into a little, like, that's not butane, but it's like a little camping thing. You can cook with it in your tent and it does not emit toxic smoke. So don't worry about it. I'm not stupid, but I should also clarify so that other people don't go out there and do silly things. Don't use a barbecue indoors. When we had the ice storm back in Canada in 96, people were barbecuing indoors, and I don't remember if it was to cook or to heat, and dying from carbon monoxide. How much have I missed this, JDL37? Everything. But you didn't miss the best part. Wait to watch the beginning, because right now we're getting into the news of last week. Doug Emhoff. If you don't take an interest in politics, you will end up being governed by your inferiors. I believe it was Aristotle or Socrates or one of the Greek philosophers. And if you don't take an interest in politics, that doesn't mean that politics won't take an interest in you. Did you guys hear this? We all know that Doug Emhoff banged this was in a prior marriage, banged a nanny, got the nanny pregnant, and there's some disagreement over how that pregnancy ended, but I don't even need to get into that part of it in order to highlight the abject immorality that is plaguing, I'd say, modern society. Definitely not something that's unique to the left. Infidelity, people who don't realize that if you have sex with a nanny, you're playing with your life. Like hold on, let me make sure I don't make a mistake on this. I think I've talked about this. Phil Hartman, why was he murdered? I believe they were having a marital. The police statement, Hartman's death was caused by a domestic discord between the couples. Phil Hartman, for those of you who don't remember, got shot while he was sleeping by his wife. You cheat on your wife or your spouse, you're taking your life in your own hand. You're playing with fire that most people don't want to be playing with. So whatever. But setting that aside, by the time infidelity occurs in a marriage, typically there's a lot of other stuff that's going on, and that is a symptom, not the cause. But you're taking your life in your own hands when you do that. Doug Emhoff had sex with a nanny, got her pregnant, and this is the jackass that the Jen Psaki's of the world, that the media is now trying to depict as the male role model, the sex symbol of the left. I mean, these people are sick in the freaking head. But it's not just that he had sex with the nanny, got her pregnant. Sign up? No, thank you. I love how CNN, the propagandist news network, has to frame it. They deny it. Oh, this is the assault. Hold on, sorry, that's the wrong one. Oh, come on, now I just spoiled where we're going with this, because if they're not having sex with nannies, they are. Ah, wait, don't. Where is the? Sorry. Emhoff sex with nanny. There you go. That's in my search engine now. Let's go to Snopes, people. I haven't read this, so we're going to learn this in real time, because Snopes is fact-checking what we know about Doug Emhoff's alleged affair. Here, check this out. Bada bing, bada boom here. Way down. Here we go. What we know about rumor Doug Emhoff had affair with nanny and got her pregnant. The affair supposedly happened in 2009, according to media reports. Hey, elect me. Oh, and everyone's going to say, well, Donald Trump had affairs also. First of all, I'm holding them to this standard because they've attempted to discredit others and hold them to this standard. That, and I also think like infidelity is immoral, period. I know it's a symptom of other problems, but you don't do it. Look at this. Second gentleman, Douglas Emhoff, had an affair with a nanny during his first marriage and got her pregnant. Research in progress. Well, keep taking your time, dumbasses. While Emhoff appears to have acknowledged the affair, can you believe this is Snopes? And as we all know what Snopes is. While Emhoff appears to have acknowledged the affair, how do you appear to have acknowledged affair? I mean, it's either you acknowledged it or you didn't. While he appeared to have acknowledged it in a statement the day the story broke, his language was vague, and neither he nor his spokesperson have confirmed any of the details as of this writing, including whether the woman was a nanny to his daughter, Ella Emhoff. In August 2024, oh my goodness, there was a rumor that Doug Emhoff cheated on his wife with a nanny from Colin Rugg, Colin Rugg doesn't get very many things wrong, for anybody who's looking for a good follow on Twitter. We'll come back to that. But Kamala Harris, Doug Emhoff allegedly cheated on his wife with their nanny, according to a new report in the Daily Mail. The report comes just days after Laura Loomer made a similar report on X. Laura Loomer, however, has gotten things wrong before. According to the report, Emhoff got the teacher, Najan Taylor, pregnant. Okay, go down. Other posts alleged Snopes has contacted the Harris campaign to ask for confirmation. We'll update as soon as they get a response. I guess they haven't gotten a response yet. On August 3rd, Emhoff sent CNN a statement that appeared to acknowledge the affair during his first marriage. After the Daily Mail posted the article, he did not go into details. All right, thanks. Snopes has not yet been able to independently confirm the claims. We reached out to both sides, yada, yada, yada. And we go over to Colin Rugg, who's going to go over to the article. I mean, it's just incredible.
Congratulations, honey. I am so...
Congratulations, honey. I'm a big slobbering, drooling idiot. I'm Seth Rogen when Seth Rogen loses his hair later on in life.
Congratulations, honey. I am so proud of you. You're going to get this done. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
I'm going to play it again just to make you...
Congratulations, honey.
Congratulations. I'm drunk or something's wrong with me. Let's see the nanny. Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. First wife. Interesting. Yeah, so that's the rumor, unconfirmed, even though he appears to have acknowledged the broad details of the affair with the affair. But we don't know if he got her pregnant. We don't know how that pregnancy ended, so we're going to say unconfirmed, even though he appears to have acknowledged it. The one that he has yet to comment on is the accusations. If you haven't followed this either, because we're being led by the scum of the earth, Doug Emhoff assault allegations. I don't know if you heard about this. What we know, what we don't from Newsweek. Well, isn't he loves his second wife more than he loves his first wife, more than he loves the nanny. Ugh! Jeez Louise, did that shake on purpose or was that like a hallucination that I had? Well, let's hear what they have to say here. It's amazing. Oh, forget, I can't stand this. Vice President Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff have been accused. Vice President Kamala Harris's husband, Douglas Emhoff, has been accused of slapping a former girlfriend more than a decade ago. Emhoff has denied the allegation. The second gentleman allegedly struck the woman in the face while waiting in a valet line after an event during the Cannes Film Festival in 2012. 3 unnamed friends told the outlet. The outlet has a right-wing bias, according to All Sides, which estimates the perceived political bias of the content yet. The woman had been dating Emhoff for about 3 months at the time of the alleged assault, the outlet reported, after connecting on a dating site, Match.com. What's the outlet? It's the outlet that's reporting on this. Spokesperson for Emhoff told Semaphore in a statement the report is untrue. Any suggestion that he would or has ever hit a woman is false. DailyMail.com did not name the woman, instead using the pseudonym Jane, describing her only as a successful New York attorney. However, a video from the event shows a woman in a red dress with Emhoff and screen grabs posted on social media, yada, yada, yada. Okay, fine. The friends who spoke to the outlet were also not named, which DailyMail.com said was because they feared retaliation. I'll approach this one with skepticism. Some of the stuff that comes out on the right-wingers, and Daily Mail, they've been good, but they can make mistakes. The report came as Emhoff, an entertainment lawyer, has been hitting the campaign trail, pun intended. If she wins the presidency in November, he would be the nation's first gentleman. The alleged assault is said to have occurred more than a year before Harris and Emhoff met on a blind date set up by a mutual friend they married in 2014. Jane's friend told the Daily Mail she received tickets to attend the Foundation for AIDS Research Gala dinner, yada, yada, yada. They provided photos of the woman posing with Emhoff, as well as documentation about details to their trip at the time of the alleged assault. One friend told the Daily Mail Jane called him sobbing shortly after the assault occurred. I didn't know whether to call the French police. I couldn't get a hold of them, calling them back. It was not clear if the alleged assault was reported to authorities, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm sure we'll get some news out of that. This is who is aspiring for the highest office of the land, people. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Has it passed? No, it's still there. I can get it. Hold on. Let me bring this up because it's Biltong back in the house, everybody. I'm going to go get some actually for lunch. Biltong from King of Biltong is one of the most protein-dense foods in the world, packed with B12, zinc, iron, creatine, and more. Need a healthy snack? Get yours at BiltongUSA.com. Viva 10 for 10% off. Game is available from Sammy. I'm a registered Democrat. My county's Democrats are canvassing New York. I've never had a Democrat besides Kennedy come to my door. They're a little worried reaching out to the independent. There's hope, says Sammy. That would be, oh my goodness. Can we believe we're less than a month to go? 32 days before the election. And I'm going to show you one funny clip before we head on over to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. This is, again, I was caught up with some other stuff last week. I don't know how I missed this. Also coming from Colin Rugg. But before we get to that final clip, before bringing everyone over to vivabarneslaw.locals.com, and I'm going to get back to hurricane packing. There was one tipped question in here that I wanted to get to. Buffalo Betsy from our locals community. I'm late for the stream. You're going to be okay through the hurricane. Are y'all going to evacuate? Why is everybody making me very, very nervous now? I'm sweating through my belly. I'm going to go check the news and see if we're in an evacuation zone. Okay. Let me give everybody the link for anyone who is so inclined to come on over to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Locals, boom. Let me go to YouTube and make sure I didn't forget anything here. I see someone say denatured alcohol, Lisa Boschel, but now you're reminding me we better make a trip to the liquor store as well, just in case. All right, locals, I'm coming. Everybody else, if you're not coming, I should be live tomorrow, depending on what the weather holds. But let's end with a good laugh. That moment, Kamala Harris's teleprompter goes out, and she is left repeating 32 days, 32 days, 32 days. Oh, yeah. Colin right here. Okay, check this out. We're going to play this. Come on over to vivabarneslaw.locals.com for the after party, and then me guts to hit the road and start packing up. So enjoy this. Come on over to Locals in a bit.
Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. We got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it. And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have some hard work ahead.
Wow. I actually didn't pick up on that part of it. First of all, you can see the moment that the teleprompter goes out, allegedly.
Number is number
32.
32. Today we got 32 days until
32.
the election.
Look at the teleprompter. Silence. Oh, shit. It's out. What do I do? 32.
So 32 days.
32 days. Okay.
32 days.
32 days. 4.
Okay, we got some business to do. We got some business.
That's business to do. Business to do
All
twice.
right. 32 days.
5.
And we know we will do it.
Okay, that's great. Well, I picked up on something right here.
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end.
Okay, platitude.
This is going to be a very tight race.
Very tight race to the end. That's twice
we
again.
We are the underdog.
We are the underdog.
And we know we have some hard work ahead.
It's very interesting. Typically, going into an election, that's what I just noticed this time. She's admitting publicly now they are the underdog, or at least saying it maybe to galvanize the base. Typically, if I'm not mistaken, the incumbent is not the underdog. So she might have accidentally just disclosed that her internal polling is revealing that she's massively the underdog, despite the fact that they are the incumbent president and should not be, although she's not really the president. What I can tell you, let me go back to predictit.org over here. My investment in the betting markets has never been higher than it is right now. So it's not very much, it's 10%, but it's 11%. The fluctuation now, and it's never been higher, and this is now getting close to the election day. So I think she actually just accidentally disclosed internal polling that they are wildly underperforming. They know it, because to get up there and say publicly, we are the underdog, seems like a big admission to make that you would not necessarily want to make. Okay, here we're going to have 30 seconds to come on over to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. I always forget to say, but if anybody wants to pick up some merch, Viva Fry, and we will think of some new merch design coming shortly. But if you want to get a shirt, a mug, a trucker hat, whatever, it's all there, vivafry.com. You want to help us and support us at vivabarneslaw.locals.com. That is the best place to do it. And that's where we're going to go right now. It's going to give us 30 seconds. And as we